Few days to go. Right, David, is there an issue with yourself and Dillian Whyte?
In what sense?
Well, just noticing some quite strong Instagram posts from Dillian Whyte over the last few days, over some comments you made about his fight with Povetkin. So I'm asking, is there an issue that you know of between you and Dillian Whyte?
Probably. There's an issue with everybody in Dillian Whyte. I don't know anyone who doesn't have an issue with Dillian Whyte. If you say anything that isn't him, he's great, then he's going to have an issue with you. I thought the fight against Povetkin, he was winning easily, and he walked on to Povetkin's best punch. And a lot of what was said after the fight was everything was going perfectly, and it just happens in boxing. One shot can do it. And you're right. But would you say the same thing against when Deontay Wilder knocked out Ortiz? He was losing every round. Then was that a shot? Did everyone say after that fight, it just happens in boxing, anything can happen? No, it was Wilder's best shot. You know, if you get hit with someone's best shot, then you need to make sure when it happens again, you don't. And I'm not sure. I hope Dillian Whyte has addressed whatever the reason was for him to get hit with that shot, because it wasn't, in my opinion, a lucky punch. It wasn't just one of those things that happens in boxing. It was Povetkin's best. It was one thing he does consistently throughout his whole career. Knocked out Carlos Takam. Even I was talking to Brian and Chisora about it, who've both been to Russia to spar with Povetkin, and both of them said, bloody hell, did he get you that left uppercut? He went, yeah. He said he busted both of their lips with that left uppercut. Both of them, he's done both of them with that same shot. So your whole style should be about, or Dillian Whyte should be focusing on staying away from someone's best asset.
Those are the words of David Haye as he breaks it down from Dillian Whyte, and he doesn't disagree. He believes that Dillian Whyte would have a problem with anybody that doesn't say he's good. I do agree. I think Dillian Whyte is very outspoken as an individual, and I think that's what caused him to say what he said about David Haye by calling him a cocksucker. Okay? And it's one of those things where in this situation, I have to side with David Haye. I understand Dillian Whyte and why Dillian Whyte said that. But I think Dillian Whyte, he became too offensive, about, should I say defensive, or offended rather, about the knockout. And David Haye just explained that the left uppercut is a weapon that Povetkin is very good at. Okay, and then regardless of what other fighters have done to Dillian Whyte, and that was my own comparison to how other fighters throw the uppercut and hurt Dillian Whyte with the uppercut, which we already know that's a factor. He was giving his own comparison of other guys that's been in there with him, like his fighter Chisora had said his lips were busted because of the left uppercut. Okay, so yeah, that's one of those things that he's very good at. It's not like a lucky punch. It's not a thing that he threw that he normally doesn't throw. And I love the comparison that he mentioned with Deontay Wilder. When Deontay Wilder caught Luis Ortiz with that right hand, nobody called that a lucky punch, did they? No. Why? Because everyone knows Deontay Wilder's asset punch is the right hand. Straight right. Okay, everyone knows that. Chopping right, bazooka right, lunging right, it's the right hand, and he got caught with the right hand. That was the best punch that Deontay Wilder hit Luis Ortiz with. Likewise for Povetkin hitting Dillian Whyte. Okay, so I get, and I to counterpunch Dillian Whyte, I gotta side with David Haye. Why? Because it was the best punch. That was the punch that he does the best. Ask Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua took that punch, made him buckle back, didn't he? Because he knew there was some punch power behind that. He knew it was some force behind that uppercut. Why? Because if a guy works on this punch all the time, think about it. If you do that, muscle memory is going to, play into a factor along with genetics and other things, conditioning. And Povetkin is an old seasoned guy, so you think he ain't never threw that punch before? So you can't call it a lucky punch. And to call David Haye a cocksucker for that, oh, well, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But at the end of the day, people, David Haye was right. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
His left uppercut. It didn't feel watching the fight that he was staying away from it. If someone throws a left uppercut, you don't want to be here. You want to be here. So when it comes up here, not here, so it comes up here. That's it. No one said, okay, I'm going to try and shift my weight back. I haven't heard that from anyone. I just heard everything was going great, and then I just got hit with a shot. It happens in boxing. It does, but in a rematch, let's make sure that doesn't happen again, because I believe at this stage, with Povetkin being 42 years old, I believe Dillian Whyte has got so many more great fights in him. He should still be the mandatory for the WBC title. He should be the guy fighting Fury.
Wow. I absolutely agree with everything he just said in that segment. Okay? And his thing is, and I think instead of being offended about what a person says, there's actually a lot of insight in there. When a person's uppercut, you don't want to be leaned in. You want to lean back from the uppercut. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you want to weave hooks, but you want to lean back from uppercuts so you won't be in the target of that punch. Because an uppercut comes from underneath. You want to be backward, not forward. And he said he didn't see anybody address that, so they should. I haven't heard that from Team Dillian Whyte either. Okay? Have I seen every interview with Dillian Whyte? No, because he's done a lot. He has been a lot. That's one thing we can say. He's been vocal. He ain't been ranting and hiding and running under a rock or wherever. He's been vocal about what's going on. Okay? But, again, David Haye is addressing, you can't get hit with that punch again. Like I've told you. So I agree with him because I've already said it. This is nothing new. But what also is a fresh new insight, though, leaning back from an uppercut. Okay? It's a difficult punch to avoid, but however, to take the mustard off of it, you have to lean back from the damn thing. You can't be leaning into it. That's what someone wants you to do because it makes you think you're going to go to the body, so you lean in to protect your body. That's what Dillian Whyte did because he was like this. Boop! Over with. Eyes went up. That was a wrap. Okay? So, but yeah, and him saying, I think he has a lot of good fights. I wanted him to see him fight Fury and all that. I think it's a lot of great fights in him. He's still a young guy. That does not sound like a hater to me. I'm sorry. It don't sound like a hater. It doesn't come off like a hater. You know what I mean? I think Dillian Whyte just did not like what David Haye had to say because they have had history in the past. I must address that. If you Google David Haye and Dillian Whyte, they're going to have beef all the way back to the last 3 or 4 years. Facts. Okay, so yes, he hates David Haye's guts by now. I wish they would have fought, honestly. That would have been a very good fight, you know. But nonetheless, this is what we have. You guys tell me what you think of David Haye's response to Dillian Whyte. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.